All right, here we go. Everybody, welcome to Jen's Pen Live. We have a very, very special guest today, all the way from Thailand. We have Rafael Aisner here on the line. And I just, you know what? Rafael is such a great speaker. I just want to let him take it away. So Rafael, tell us about yourself and tell us about what you do.
Hey, Jennifer, thanks for having me here. And thanks for all of you who are watching live and will be watching later. So it's a long story, so I'm just going to condense it and make it as simple as possible. But you know those flashes of intuition and creativity that we all get every once in a while? Mm-hmm. I started having them when I was a kid, I guess like most people. And I asked myself a question. I asked myself, why do I get these flashes? Where do they come from? And is there anything I can do to have them more often? Because they were so useful and so valuable. Like I noticed early on, I'm like 6 years old, and I noticed that some people have like a spark of aliveness. You can see it in their eyes. And other people look kind of dull, kind of like zombified. And I see more of that nowadays than before. As our world is becoming. So I asked myself, what can I do to make this better? Like, what's the difference? And I asked my mom, and she gave me the best answer. She said, my son, she goes, I don't know anything about life. We're born without a manual and you have to figure it out yourself. She says, I've heard there's these people in India, they call themselves yogis. They sit in this position. She sat in the lotus position. She said, they claim that they can stop their breath, they can stop their heart, they can levitate, they can astral project. She goes, I don't even know what that means. She goes, I personally don't know, but maybe you can figure it out. So I committed to figuring it out and figuring out how does it work? So I assumed the position, held my breath, and about 45 seconds later, I was breathing again. And I thought about it, and I was like, all right, well, how does this work? Well, when I run really fast, and I used to love to sprint, my heart races really fast, my breath goes really fast. Let's try that. So I went out, and I just did like a 50-yard dash as fast as I could. And my heart went up, my breath went up, and then I sat in that same position. And I thought, what if I slow my breath down as little as possible? And sure enough, I never stopped my heart. I never stopped my breath. I never levitated. But I was able to figure something out. I discovered that if I sit really quietly and really still and just slow my breath and just relax my mind, that everything gets really peaceful. And it's like my batteries get charged on the inside. It's like 30 seconds, in 5 minutes, I can do like a full recharge. So I've been doing that my entire life. I never called it anything. I never gave it any importance. And then somewhere around the age of 12 or 13, I had an experience where I was jumping off the roof of a friend's house, and we were like jumping, landing, and rolling. And it was a pitched roof. And the idea was, I'm going to keep practicing from higher and higher. And then maybe one day I can jump off the Empire State Building. 12-year-old boy.
Little boys, yeah.
I'm jumping. And then suddenly I had this little voice saying, don't jump. And I never heard that little voice, like a little silent, like I shouldn't be doing this. And a loud voice in my head, like a loud, aggressive voice said, what's the matter with you, coward? Jump. And I jumped and I tripped on something and I landed head first, fortunately, in a bush. Almost had my eyes poked out. My head hit the ground. I could have hurt myself really badly. And I was like, all right, that didn't work. And I went back up and I went to the exact same place. There was like footmarks on the dust of the roof. And I put my feet in the same place and I couldn't jump. Something didn't want me to jump. So I took a breath and I dropped into that quiet space. And then I had suddenly a knowing. I could see that there was a cable of a television antenna that was right there, that I noticed it out of the corner of my eye, that I'd felt it right on the edge of my tennis shoes, my sneakers, and I'd ignored it. And I decided to start listening to that voice, that inner voice. And I realized that throughout my life that there were different situations. Sometimes I had a clear voice in my head of go this way, and that was it. So I would go and things would be okay. Other times there'd be nothing here, but I'd have a silent knowing and I would do it and things would work out great. Then there were times when both the head and the voice that seems to come down from somewhere down here were in agreement. And whenever I did that, it was just fantastic. And then whenever this voice said go left and this voice said right, if I followed this voice, I crashed and burned. Mm-hmm. All this voice, everything was quiet. So I decided to just do that. And I was interested in life, like what makes us be more alive? So I got into biology, and that took me into molecular biology, biochemistry, nutrition, human medicine, like how do we function? And I realized that we function by just following ourselves. That we're like every other life form. If we're given the right conditions, we can flower. And that these flashes of light, these flashes of intuition, these flashes of understanding or of love or of connection or of oneness are part of our biology. So if we eat right, we sleep right, we hydrate properly, we breathe properly, we feed our bodies properly, we feed our emotions properly, we feed our mind properly, we can create the conditions to have spontaneous flashes of intuition, of creativity, of love, of connection, of oneness. So I basically dedicated my life to just following that. And by the time I was 40 years old, I had a brilliant career. I had the house with more rooms that I could sleep in. I had more cars in my driveway. I made more money that I could drive, more money that I could spend. And my little voice came on and said, "We're doing great. You've done everything great. Now just follow me 100%. Take a chance. Just follow me. Let me be in charge." And the mind was like, okay, we can do this. We can create a nice life for ourselves. And basically, I got to a place where I could create the conditions anytime for this light to come on. And then one day it just stayed on. Mm-hmm. In other words, I created the conditions for the little seed. It's like a little sleeping seed of intuition, of awareness, of consciousness that we all have. It's part of our biology. If you give it the right conditions, it'll sprout. And then if you find out what the right conditions are for it to grow, it'll shoot. And then if you find the right conditions for that, it'll flower. And then if you find the right conditions for that, it'll give fruit, just like any plant. Plants do it. All of life does it. And we humans have the capacity to do this. So I followed that. It took me a few years to figure out how to do that. And suddenly the lights are on and I'm present and intuitive and creative always. Within a few months, I found my best friend, partner, and soulmate. We've been together for 12 years. We decided to create the conditions to see if she could figure it out. Within 6 months, her light was on and she was present. So we decided to see, what can we do about life, about the world? Do we just go live in a little island somewhere and sort of disappear from life? Or do we create something that allows people to learn how to do it for themselves? And then sure enough, spontaneously, we suddenly knew there's a little island in Thailand called Koh Phangan where we can go, we can set ourselves up, we can live a little paradise on the beach life, but we can open up a little school and teach people how to do that. That was 10 years ago. And people just started coming in and we started teaching people how to do it. And over the last 10 years, I've amassed a series of videos of myself sharing this information with people. And we created a program that allowed people to do it at whatever financial level they wanted to do it at. So if you're a backpacker on $10 a day, well, you can pitch a tent on the beach, so to speak, or get a little bungalow, and you can create a little retreat space for yourself, a little cocoon where you can allow the conditions for your inner seeds of intuition, of creativity, of love, of connection, of oneness, of just whatever makes you special, whatever makes you a unique individual person. And we created that, and money started coming in. And then we created a program that allowed people that were comfortable with more like professionals that were more interested in a $50 a day, $100 a day, $200 a day. We got to a level where we started working with high-end entrepreneurs, people that are comfortable at $1,000 a day. So we created an environment for that. And we learned how to tune our intuition and not just how to function physically, emotionally, connected with life, with love, with spirit, with whatever you want to call it, but also how to function in the matrix, how to tune your intuition to function with money, to be able to work out whatever level you're to come.
Ooh, you're breaking up. I'm sorry. 1 second,
So
Rafael.
we decided to create a series of programs and go around. Yeah, am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You're back. Sorry, we broke up for a second there. Keep going. You decided to create a series of programs?
Create a series of programs to work with people at all levels with retreat centers. And then 2 years ago, this whole thing with COVID and pandemic and travel lockdowns hit. And we realized that we needed to pivot. So we took all of our resources and everything we did, and we turned inwards, and we decided to create a series of online videos and programs that I call Hbom, the human being.
Hbom. I love that. Hbom.
Original idea that my mom gave me, which was like, we're born without a manual, you got to figure it out. So I was like, all right, I'm going to make a manual for myself. And I'm going to share it with people just openly, freely, let them decide, what level they want to do it, if they can have it for free, if they want to donate, if they want to pay for coaching services, up to you, you figure it out. And it worked so well. And the lockdown conditions made it so that we needed to create an online version, that I've created something where I put the entire program online for free on my YouTube channel. So that anybody can go and figure out what they need specifically. So it's like any plant. If you take any seed and you put it in some soil and you give it a little water at the right temperature and a little bit of light, it'll sprout. If you give it the right conditions, it'll grow. If you give it the precise conditions, it'll flower. If you give it even better conditions, it'll fruit. And if you give it the perfect conditions, it'll make the juiciest, yummiest fruit. So what if each and every one of us has a seed, has seeds of intuition, of love, of creativity, of connection, of oneness? So all we have to do is turn ourselves into a little greenhouse, or turn ourselves into a little flowering garden. Create a little cocoon around ourselves like a caterpillar. Create the right conditions so that we can sprout those seeds of intuition, of love, of creativity, of abundance. And we all have them. All life generates abundance. All life creates colors and dance and song. Like just look around. Everyone's having fun, except us humans that are kind of thinking our way through. And we have other intelligences. You get a gut feeling. It's an intelligence. Learn to tune into it and follow it. You get a feeling from your heart. It's an intelligence. Learn to tune in and to follow it. And of course, if I'm going to pay my taxes, I'm going to use my intellect. If I want to solve a math problem, I'm not going to feel it with my heart. What's 2 + 2? The heart doesn't care.
Right.
The mind figure that out, right? So can you clear your mind? Can you get yourself into a body that is strong, healthy, vibrant, fed with the best nutrients? In other words, if you want your mango tree to produce the best mangoes, you have to take care of the roots. You have to take care of that tree. And it'll automatically produce the flowers and the fruits. So what if you take your body and you take care of it, so it'll produce the most beautiful flowerings of intuition, of love, of creativity. And then take those flowerings and give them what they need so that they'll generate the fruits of abundance. And when you do that, anyone can create the conditions for themselves. So what I'm here to do, my mission in life, my legacy work, my life work, since I was 6 years old, 7 years old, when I asked, why do some people look more alive than others? I said, no manual. So I figured out what works for me, and I figured out what works for people from all around the world. It took me 35 years to figure it out. I spent the last 12 years functioning from this state and putting together everything to help as many people as possible. So that's what I do. That's what I'm sharing. And then when you reached out and we connected, I saw that you have this lovely energy of growing and sharing and jumping into life and openly sharing your challenges and how you overcome them. And I thought, well, let's see if we can create something together. Let's see if we can do something that can help. I'm an ordinary guy. I don't consider myself special in any way. I'm like a seed that came from a good tree. I come from good stock. And I landed in a right plot of soil that had all the nutrients for me to grow and thrive, but it had some toxins that made me uncomfortable and it made me want to move and find a better way. And I feel that there's millions of us, billions of us that could do this for ourselves if we just knew that it's possible. And then all you got to do is yourself. So I've created a series of menus, of options, of stories, of videos, of reading lists, of things for people just to try for themselves. My way only works for me. Your way will only work. But like every plant, like everything out there, you need quality sleep, quality food, some exercise, right? Dancing, some quiet time, some creativity, some thinking. You got to think some things through. You got to feel some things through. And yeah, that's kind of like in a nutshell what I'm sharing. How to sprout that seed and how to grow it for yourself at any level. All you need to do is just create a nice lifestyle for yourself at whatever financial level you're at. You can create.
That's amazing. So people don't have to like you're saying, you have to just create the right conditions, right? The soil, the water, the sun, whatever it is, but you yourself don't have to worry about the fruiting or the actual flowering. You just have to create the right conditions for it.
That's right. Well, if you've ever grown plants and grown flowers, The last thing you do is touch the buds or the flower buds. You don't grab and pull on them and try to stretch them out because you'll destroy them. All you do is take care of the root. Now, if the plant is in some toxic soil and there's some poisons, in our case, they can be physical toxins from the foods that we eat. There's lots of heavy metals, there's pesticides, there's all sorts of chemically modified foods and genetically modified foods. This particular body eats about 90% natural, healthy, organic. I grow a lot of my food. I make sure I drink enough water to make sure that I'm not eating any chemical residue from a factory or from a mine, or there's a lot of toxins out there. So first, clean yourself physically and eat the best food. And if you do that and you just fill your refrigerator and you fill your pantry with everything that is delicious to you, yummy, whatever's yummy to you before, during, and after. In other words, thinking about eating it is like, that's going to be yummy. And then you're eating it and you're like, ooh, that's yummy. Like yummy for me, I'm clear about what yummy is, and I'm clear about what yucky is. And so does every baby can differentiate yummy and yucky. Every human can also. So create conditions for whatever allows you to yummify your life, just to have your physical experience, right? And then emotions. Well, some people that are more yummy to be with, and some people that are more yucky to be with. So why not choose a yummier diet, so to speak? Amount of time that you spend with, now there's some people, of course, that you're in relationships with, family, work, but I eat junk food every once in a while. I don't limit myself. There's no rules except whatever makes this body feels better, heart feel and more intelligent when I needed to, and more quiet and more relaxed when I don't need it. I just do that. That's it. Whatever allows this body to have a yummier experience physically, emotionally, psychologically. Step by step, you do it.
You just broke up. Can you repeat yourself? I'm sorry.
Sure. Anything that you do to make your life a little bit better, well, it makes your life a little bit better. So
that's a good point.
That's it. That's just it. The thing about us humans is that we're a transition species. We're the only species that has the capacity to evolve our consciousness, to evolve the quality of our life. A rose is a rose is a rose. It'll always be a rose. If you give it the right nutrients, it'll make a beautiful rose. If you don't, it won't make that beautiful. Same with a dog. A dog is a dog is a dog. They're beautiful, they're amazing, but they're dogs, and they're not going to be anything other than dogs. But we humans have the capacity to really have more than an animal experience. We have a physical animal body, right? We're more like primates. We're more like monkeys, like hairless monkeys. But this physical body has certain requirements it needs to thrive as a body. So why not figure out what you need? So I'll give you an example. When I'm on the beach, and I have these little, wooden bungalows on the beach, and it's just me and my wife and our daughter, and everything's fine. What do I need to eat? Some yogurt, some nuts, some juice, some fruits, some veggies, a little piece of fish maybe once in a while, soft-boiled egg every once in a while, like very simple, gentle foods. Bangkok, when I'm in the business matrix, when I'm dealing with lawyers, when I'm brokering $1 million deal, this body needs about 100 grams of medium rare grass-fed beef once a week. It needs some meat, right? Why? I don't know. It's just what it needs for that environment. I'm sort of like in the concrete jungle, and I want to be more like a tiger and less like a little lamb. On the beach, I just coconut. I don't want to do anything. If I want to learn something new, I figured out that for me, seafood, shrimp, if I have like a little shrimp taco, boy, that just helps me learn faster. Why?
That's amazing.
This body works, right? Then we work with people that have deep emotional traumas. They've been treated roughly as children. They've had physical, emotional, sexual abuse, they've inappropriate connection. And for some reason, some crazy reason, bacon, something about bacon just gives me that groundedness that allows me to enter and work with anyone at any level emotionally, even with the deepest, most intense traumas, fears, anxieties, and stress. That's what works for me. For other people, it might be the opposite. But the only way to find out is to try it. Just fill your house with whatever is yummiest and just eat a handful of whatever's yummy and just see how that makes you feel. And you got to be a little bit of a scientist. You got to kind of decode it and go, what do I need to have the best possible experience physically? Okay, well, these are the foods, right? So you can start with a very simple, gentle, let's say mostly vegetarian diet. And then see how you feel. And then add some egg to it, add some fish to it, add some chicken to it, add some pork, add some beef, whatever it is. There's no rules except that you're a unique individual and you need unique conditions to create these flashes of intuition, these flowerings of creativity. So when you can tune into that, then you can create the conditions for it to happen on a more regular basis. So if you can have it, if you naturally have an intuitive flash once a month, well, why not have it once a week? What if you could have it once a day? What if you could have it on demand? What if you were like, I don't know what to do next in life, but I eat the sandwich, or I have this, and I, relax for 5 minutes, I take a nap, or I do some yoga, or I get a foot massage or something like that, and the flash comes through. That's how it works for me. So as a scientist, I thought, this has to be part of my biology. I can't be unique in this. So I started mapping out and creating options. So if someone comes to one of our retreats, we give them a menu of, here are all the delicious foods that you can eat. What seems most delicious for you? Oh, today I'm going to, just do a juice fast, or today I'm going to do the vegetarian, or today I need some fried pork. Like, I just feel like I really, or I need some beef, or doesn't matter what it is, right?
It's just whatever you feel you need.
Whatever you feel. So it's a feeling thing. All of life feels its way. We're the only humans that have to think our way through life. And thinking is great. Again, taxes, your degree, if you want to be a scientist or an engineer, you're a lawyer, you're a teacher. I'm thinking, obviously, to have this conversation with you. It's a thought process. And yet, for feeling good, for feeling love, for feeling an open heart, there's no thought involved in it. It has nothing to do with my thinking process. My mind has nothing to do with my heart. If this body wants to be in an open-hearted, loving, connected to the universe space, the mind needs to be quiet.
Right.
Because it's quiet, the heart's open. If the mind is on, the energy isn't going to the heart. It's like it's a shunt. It's either going one way or the other. Right, so those moments of love and connection and oneness, where are you as an idea? Where do you exist as? Here I am, Rafael, or here I am, Jennifer, in your case. Are you there? Love, right? You're in connection, you're dancing, you're creating, whatever you love to do the most. Put awareness into it and ask yourself, where am I when I'm like totally dancing or totally drawing or just playing a musical instrument? I love to play music. I love to sing. I love to dance. I love to draw. I love to drive. I fly airplanes. I'm a sailor. I'm a scuba diver. I'm a paraglider. I like to go out there and do all sorts of things. I love to run. When I'm doing those things and I'm 100% totally in my running or my dancing or my drawing, there's nothing in here. It's quiet. Right? Isn't that true? Yeah, so exactly.
True. Yeah, when you're absorbed in an activity that you love doing, absolutely.
So what if, and that's when you love doing it, what if you can learn how to be absorbed in dozens of different types of activities so that you're 100%. And then you also consider just being absorbed with doing nothing, just being able to just sit quietly and just breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Go to bed before you go to bed. Like I like to take a light shower just to clear the day off.
Mm-hmm.
In bed and I just stretch myself out so that I'm nice and balanced, aligned, symmetrical, my arms, my legs, everything. I'm just laying on my back or on my side, just nice. And I just breathe quietly and I watch myself. I witness myself just slowly, slowly, slowly. And then a thought comes up and then it slowly, slowly, slowly fades away. Quiet. And that's it. And
so then suddenly I wake up. Just conscious of that.
Completely conscious of it. Bring conscious of witnessing awareness. Be aware of when your mind is running and what it needs to slow back down. Sometimes you just need to take a breath. Sometimes you're just a little dehydrated. Mm-hmm. Depending on how you eat. If you eat steady blood sugar levels of food, so you eat protein-rich foods, and you give yourself every hour and a half to 3 hours a handful of whatever is yummy protein-rich, you're going to maintain nice, steady blood sugar levels. That's fuel for your body and for your brain. Your brain uses glucose. So you're driving your car, you're flying in an airplane, you want steady fuel supply, don't you?
Right. Yeah, you would hope so, in a plane especially.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what if your body is the most complex living, thinking, feeling biocomputer vehicle vessel in the universe, or at least in this part of the universe, more complex than a space shuttle? And what do people do? They get up, they drink a power drink or a coffee, or they have something sweet, and your blood sugar spikes and then it drops.
Right.
You don't your hydration, you don't pay attention to your breath, to your posture. Like if you pay attention to the vehicle, to the vessel, and you just start tuning it, it'll start performing better. So the better this body has slept and eaten and stretched and danced and slept, the better it thinks and the better it feels. Because it's a thinking, feeling body with a mind that's like an operating system. It's like a program. And you get your program from your family, you get your program from your culture, you get your program from your society. And that's great. It's gotten you to here. Don't you have to update your operating system on your smart devices every once in a while?
Every once in a while, yeah. Or they stop working.
When's the last time you updated the operating system in this smart device?
Right. We don't think about that very often.
Think about that. What if our mind is just a bunch of code? It's language and numbers. And everything we're thinking is based on words, numbers, experiences, memories, and then whatever we add as far as our emotions, our hopes, our dreams, our angers, our fears. And what if we could go through and go, okay, what does this body physically need to be as relaxed and comfortable and energized as possible? Okay, what about my emotions? Oh, I've got some anger that's in there. What if I take a piece of paper and I start writing out or drawing out or find some way to express that anger in a way that doesn't hurt anyone, but I kind of put whatever I'm angry about, I write it down, I scribble it down, and I hate this and I hate that, and then you sign it and you tear it up and you throw it away, or you put it in your fireplace and you burn it. And it completes the thought. Then maybe it comes up, you do it 2, 3, 4 times. And then suddenly you're just done with that thought. You're done with that trapped emotion. And then you do the same thing with sadness, with guilt, with shame. You can clear all of your emotions. And suddenly you can be in a space where you're just quiet. Your emotions are quiet. They're still, like a lake with no wind on it, no storms. There's no storms. Wow. That frees up so much bandwidth for this thinking, feeling body to then go out and start thinking about, what are all these thoughts I have in my head? So when I look at the thoughts that I have in my head, my thoughts are always about either my body and my body image, or my emotions, something I'm feeling, I wish I was, or somebody else is feeling, something about my mind, oh, I think I'm going crazy, or why am I so confused, or why am I so, why can't I figure this out? Then there are thoughts about money, about sex, about love, about family, about business, about life, death, God, spirit, random stuff that shows up on, social media. And that's it. There's nothing else to think about. So if I have a journal and I have on one part of the journal, I write every thought about my body and I just keep track of it. And every thought about my emotions on a different page. And every thought about my thinking process on a different page. And every thought I have about love, about sex, about money, about death, about family, about relationships, about work. You're going to begin to realize that you've got a bunch of thoughts that some of them are very interesting and very useful and you want to follow them up. But then you have a bunch of thoughts that are just useless and outdated. They don't make any sense. Well, you can give yourself permission to complete them or drop them. And it's like having lots of apps on your smart device, lots of windows open, lots of things running on your laptop. You realize that it's clunky. It's not functioning at all.
It's slowing things down, yeah.
It's slowing things down. So what do you do? Well, you start closing apps and saving files and deleting old things and updating your operating system. And suddenly your smart device is smarter than ever. Well, our thinking, feeling bodies are living biocomputers. And of course, you need to keep the battery charged, and you don't kick your laptop.
Right, you don't just drop it, right?
Drop it. So are you abusing it with substances that aren't helping it be sharper, smarter, more sensitive?
Right.
More gentle, right? You want your flower, your rose bush to flower, and it doesn't flower, so you kick it. No, that's not going to help it flower.
Work, flower, dang you.
Yeah, you speak it, right? It's not going to flower better. So
No.
what if our greatest intelligence is based on our sensitivity?
People have really been taught to ignore that in themselves.
Yeah, we have. So why don't you reteach yourself to pay attention to it? I mean, everything you know you've learned, you can relearn things.
Mm-hmm.
Every fear we have is learned. We're not born with any fears. We're born with a startle instinct. We're born with fears. Okay, well, when you're a baby and you're afraid of something, it makes sense because it might be dangerous to you. But 20, 30, 40 years later, do you still need the same fears?
Right.
Do you still need limiting beliefs? Do you still need the same ideas continuously in your head about life, about love? Right? Like I've got this cousin from just political cousin who came over for dinner once, and my partner, my wife, had made this beautiful meal, and there was all sorts of food, vegetarian and different meats and chicken. We offered him chicken. He said, "I don't eat chicken." I was like, "Really? Why?" He says, "Well, I don't eat chicken because my grandfather never ate chicken, so no one in my family eats chicken, and I won't eat chicken." I was like, "Wow, okay, that's that's
Okay,
interesting."
that's interesting.
Okay, great.
Let's explore that.
Don't eat the chicken, right? What do I want to say about that? But what if we're doing that with life, with love, with creativity, with sensitivity? What if we're not giving ourselves permissions to be happy?
We have old ideas that no longer serve us, or that were given to us, like you're saying, by a family member, or by society, or whatever, and we're not even thinking about it. Like, well, I don't eat chicken because my uncle didn't eat chicken, or whatever it is. Like, well, that
Right.
doesn't make a lot of sense. What if we think about that?
Right. Or what if we don't dance and have fun? Like I was born into a family that was devastated by world wars. World War I, World War II, the Spanish Civil War. I was born into a family where there was very little joy and happiness. So a little bouncing baby boy running around, jumping, screaming, throwing things, asking why, saying no. I was shut down continuously. I was slapped down and pushed down for being full of life. And that kind of made me kind of depressed and down for a long time until I realized, wait a minute, I'm here to have fun. I'm here to dance. I'm here to thrive. I'm going to do whatever allows me to have the best possible life. And of course, I'm here with your freedom to have the best possible life. As a matter of fact, if I'm having fun all by myself, that's great. If you're having fun and we can have fun together, isn't that better?
So much more fun.
Let's get together, and 10 of us and 20, what if 100 of us? What if there was 1 million people having fun? What if there was 1 billion people that were just living their lives in a way, according to you, what allows you to unapologetically have the yummiest life possible? And the only condition is, obviously, if I'm doing something that I'm enjoying and it's hurting you, it's never yummy for me.
No.
It's yucky. It just fills in. It automatically, like, it doesn't feel good to make somebody else feel bad. So why would I do that? I would rather do things that feel good. And if you don't want to feel good, okay, well, I hope you can do something about it. But if not, you're free to feel any way you like. And I'm free to keep my boundaries and go do things that allow me to have fun. And if you want to join me, catch up.
Right. So I have a question. I'm not quite sure how to formulate it. So we're talking about going with things that we find yummy and staying away from the things that we find yucky. I find in life a lot of times people get confused over I mean, at a very core, yes, I can see that very, very real way we can say, okay, this is something I find yummy. But as an example, for instance, I might find fried chicken or whatever it is. I'm a vegetarian, but fried clams are delicious. Okay, I'm pescatarian, but fried clams are delicious, and they're delicious, but then, like, also they're kind of yucky, like, because they're not really doing us a favor, right? They're kind of polluting our bodies. So I'm not quite sure where the question I'm asking is going here, but I feel like a lot of times people are confused as to what is good for them and what isn't good for them. They've been taught incorrectly.
Right. So there's when it comes to like things like food, you have to be a scientist. You have to have a scientific approach to it. You have to figure it out. And of course, some things are yummier than others. Mm-hmm. So from wherever you are, take a step towards the yummy herb. and then tune into that. And you might notice that, well, maybe fried clams every day is horrible, but once a year is okay. Right? Like there's our bodies have a capacity to process foods in different ways according to what our needs are, what our requirements are.
Right.
And ultimately, it's a very good, it's an interesting point. When I was a teenager, I discovered, alcohol at parties and all sorts of substances that you could try. They're available, they're all around, right? Mm-hmm. So I found some things that I really enjoyed, and I thought, wow, this could be dangerous if I'm only stuck doing one thing this could be addictive. Mm-hmm. So I wondered, okay, so can you stop all addictions? And I was like, well, I'm kind of addicted to breathing. How does this work? How does that work? And then suddenly I had this idea, this little voice came on. I just had really quietly, the little silent voice said, find as many positive addictions as possible. I'm addicted to things that feel good. Right. Before, but don't get stuck on one thing. Have 10 different positive things that you love to do. That way you'll miss out. Like, I love eating this, but I also love not eating this and doing these other things. Just go from yummy to yummy to yummier to yummier. It's like you just go step by step.
Right.
And you're gonna
That makes sense. I just feel like a lot of the world is sick right now. And like you're saying, you want to live a yummy life. You want to live a life that's happy and that you're really enjoying, and you want other people to live that way too, as long as you're not hurting people. But a lot of times these days, I don't know, it seems to me like it's become a thing where hurting people is okay. And it's something that people seem to enjoy. Like, and what would you say, how would you want to wake someone like that up? I don't even know, like, how you would go about solving a problem like that. They have to want to.
They have to want to, yeah. So for me, the big thing is that I have this mind, and Western mind is so powerful. It's so imaginative. I mean, we've got. I watched this video of 360-degree amazing video of what's happening on Mars just 2 days ago. Like, we have the capacity to do the most incredible things, right? And we also have the capacity to create a mind that's so powerful that it can trick us. It can trick us in what we think is good or bad, what we think is right or wrong. So to what we should be afraid of, to what we should fear, to what we should desire. Our fears and our desires. Our mind is run by fears and desires.
Right. This is exactly what, yes. Yeah.
Right? So our mind desires this and it goes towards that, and then it fears this other thing, so it goes away from it. And then people figured out about 70 years ago, some very clever, sort of evil geniuses kind of people, figured out that if you can cross-link people's fears and desires around a product, that they'll chase after it. They're afraid of not having it, and they desire having it. So then we have an entire consumer society that's based on chasing your desires and running away from your fears. But they're all mental constructs, they're mental projections. So this is where learning how to notice the difference between what this wants and what the body wants.
Right.
This is learning how to stop and reboot your mind is really careful. You want to be able to turn this off on demand. You want to be able to, how do I stop this program? You're watching a movie and it's a scary movie and you put it on pause. You go to the bathroom and you bring back some ice cream or some fruit or a cup of tea, then you come back and you're like, okay, ready? You turn it back on and then you jump back to the scary part. So you can do that with yourself. You can find ways of pausing this supercomputer so it stops projecting. Mm-hmm. And from there, ask yourself, what is the rest of this body like? Is it just a desire out of a habit or out of a fear-driven motivation? Or is it authentically, that's what this body wants?
Right.
That's what this wants. That's the question to ask yourself. Like, is what I want real? There's something about being able to use your mind to doubt yourself as mind, to doubt your wants and your desires. You need to be able to question and go, do I really want this? Is this really what I need? And if I turn this off, now, in order for this to turn off easily and smoothly, it goes back to the first thing I said, the body needs to be as healthy as possible.
Right.
So the body that and exercises and does a little stretching and does a little yoga and eats the right foods. The first food is, like, you make sure you're eating something really healthy and you've slept well. This body is grounded.
Right. That's where it all starts.
That's where it all starts. Yeah. So you start by first take care of the body.
Mm-hmm.
Then clear the emotions, complete your emotions. If you're sad about something, go into it. Find a time and a space, clean your house, clean your room, go in, have a yummy food, a soup that you love, some fresh fruits and vegetables, pour yourself a bubble bath and go in there and just allow yourself to be sad. And then come out of it and eat something yummy. If you can afford it, schedule a massage. Get some body work. Relax it, get it out of your body. Listen to some of your favorite music, right? Just start taking care of yourself. Start tuning yourself up. Like, do a restoration on yourself, physically and emotionally first.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that first. Then the vessel is solid, right? You're taking care of the roots of the tree. You're grounded. The foundation of the house is solid and clear. Now you can go and start thinking about what's happening in here.
Right.
A lot easier to do that.
I just want to, something that just struck me is something that I've been working on a lot lately is, you said, like, just go and allow yourself to be sad. Just go and feel sad. I feel like a lot of times, or at least I can only speak about myself and my experience, but like, I used to run away from that. You know what I mean? Like, okay, and that just keeps you stuck in it, right? But what you just said, the way you just said it, like, just go and just sit and allow yourself to be sad. And it's just allow that feeling to happen rather than trying to push it away and get rid of it or bury it or whatever the case may be. Yeah,
draw it out. How would you interpret it? Could you dance? Do you feel like to dance? What would be the saddest dance that you could have?
That's what I'm doing next time I'm sad.
Well, sometimes it works. It's really fun. It's like, turn it into a game. Gamify it. Emotions, I won't be the first or the last one to say it, but think of emotions as energy and motion.
Right.
It's emotional bandwidth. Now, do you know what happens if you take white light, regular white light, and you put it through a prism? What comes out the other side?
A rainbow.
Right. Okay. Do you know what happens if you take a rainbow and you put it through a prism? What comes out the other side?
The white light.
Light. So imagine this. Imagine that your body is the prism, first prism, and that the energy of life is going through it, and you have a whole range of colors, of emotions that are coming out. There's fear, there's anger, there's contentment, there's happiness, there's joy, right? There's all sorts of all the emotions that we have. Right? Now, imagine that your mind is the second crystal, the second prism.
Okay.
If I decide that the color red is angry and bad, and I'm going to filter it out, and that orange, that's lustful, that's sinful, and that's I should feel guilty, and I'm going to empty that out. And then I don't really like, green. I like blue, or I don't like blue. I like green, and I like purple, violet. Violet's my favorite one. And I filter out any of those colors, and then I put it back through the other filter, through the other prism. Will white light come out the other end? No. And that's what happens when you repress, suppress, or in any way vilify, or turn any emotion into a negative energy, into a negative state, into an unresourceful state. You're basically cutting away frequencies of your energy.
Right.
Which means you can never be fully happy. You can never be. Bliss is the white light that comes out the other end. But bliss requires you to be angry if you need to be angry, sad if you need to be sad, happy if you need to be happy. And it needs a balance. All of your emotions need to be balanced.
Right. Balanced. And it's all okay. Like we were saying yesterday, we had a discussion yesterday, like it doesn't matter if you're angry or if you're sad or whatever, it's all okay. You're still okay, even if you're feeling those feelings.
Sure. And if you can add a little awareness to it and to notice, wow, I'm angry. I wonder why. right now. Is this angry coming from inside? Because once you clear your emotions, if you go through and you do the exercise of writing down all of your angers, all of your fears, all of your sadnesses, all of your insecurities, all of your guilts and your shames, and you go, okay, this is it. This is what I wasn't born with all of these fears and guilts and insecurities. They were given to me. I imprinted them. I copied them from my family, my friends, my society, my teachers, the preachers, like everyone around me. I sort of imprinted that. When we're born, we're like a little white sponge. Right? So a little clean sponge. And if you drop that clean sponge into pure water, and then you squeeze it and let it dry, it's still a clean sponge, right? Mm. But if you drop it into dirty water, then it never gets clean until you put it into clean water. So we imprint all sorts of ideas, fears, philosophies, beliefs about what's good and what's bad, what's right and what's wrong, what's positive and what's negative. All these values are mental constructs. Right. And maybe they were fine when we were born, but 10, 20, 30, 40 years later, maybe they don't make sense anymore. So right. Why give yourself permission to reevaluate them? For that, all you need to do is bring conscious awareness and go, can I be angry? Yeah, sure, I can be angry. Okay, how angry can I get? Well, grab a pillow or a yoga ball and just beat up your pillow. Right? I mean, don't hurt yourself. But right. If you're angry, you can bite a towel and scream. It's not going to hurt you, right? You take a towel, you bite it and you scream. Or if you're near a pool or near the ocean, put your head underwater and just scream as loud as you can. The water pressure will prevent your vocal cords from getting hurt. No one will hear you. You might startle some fish. But other than that, there's no danger in those damages. You're just like, rah, you're letting it out. Let out your anger until you feel some sadness. And then you just sit there and you just let yourself be sad until it passes. And then suddenly it'll be light again.
Right. It doesn't last forever.
It don't last forever, right? The only thing is, obviously, make sure you're not doing anything in a way that's going to hurt anybody else or yourself. Right. That's the only thing. Obviously, if you are very unstable, very unbalanced, you're on intense medications, then you go slow, right? Or find someone to help you and support you.
Right. Right.
If you're just a regular, ordinary person that has ups and downs and lefts and rights and ins and outs, why not learn to accept them? Like, there's something really interesting about sitting in front of a mirror and just looking at yourself and then making the meanest face possible. I say, so this is the hardest face possible. And just look at your whole range of all the faces you can have and get to know them, become aware of what it feels like. Because sometimes we're walking around and we don't even realize that our face is stuck in it like an angry expression.
Yeah.
Our whole body is angry because of that.
Yeah, it's amazing the energies that we store in our body without even realizing it.
So in my home, in my house, we've got mirrors everywhere. Lots of places that you walk past and you see yourself and you're like, what am I this? Okay. And take a breath and your whole body relaxes. How interesting is that?
That is, yeah, it is amazing when you realize that you're holding something and then you breathe in and you consciously relax it, like what a difference it actually makes in your whole body.
Sure, because what if it's just a habit and there's no source for it? And then you go, well, is there any reason to have this weird look on my face? And you're like, no. Oh, okay.
Right.
And then you do that and it takes a little bit of time, okay? Because your entire life you've accumulated angers and fears and repressions and guilts and shames, like we all do. Our sponge fell into, like you say, the world's a bit sick. It's quite sick. It fell into a really dirty, polluted, nasty puddle. So you got to start rinsing it out step by step. So this isn't like a one-day solution. It's going to take a couple of days. Like if you spend 3 days, just a weekend, just checking yourself in the mirror every once in a while, writing down what you're feeling, you're going to start to get a sense of getting to know yourself. 3 weeks later, it's going to be like, well, this actually really helps me. 3 months later, you'll have cleared out 90% of all your junk.
That's bringing us perfectly back full circle to talk about your videos and your program. So let's give a quick overview. I know we talked a little bit about it, a lot about it earlier, but we were talking yesterday about like sort of a 3-week thing and then a 3-month thing and just how long it takes to get cleared out. Right.
So the first thing is Can you give your body the essentials of what it needs to just feel good? And those essentials are proper breathing, because oxygen is what burns the fuel in your body. So if you're not getting the right amount of oxygen in your body and you've got too much carbon dioxide, your body's acidifying, doesn't feel as good. And all you need to do is just take nice, regular, smooth breaths. Every time you can remember, just breathe nice, deep, relaxed breath. And that immediately, that's of your body. Like bringing awareness to your breath allows you to, every time you can, just take a nice deep breath. That will help stabilize, right? And then hydrate yourself. Make sure you're drinking enough water, because if you're 2 glasses of water less than what your body needs, and your body's already experiencing stress, anxiety, and fear, just because you just need a glass of water. How silly is that? Take a breath and drink a glass of water, and that could solve, what if it could only solve 10% of your issues? Well, that's 10%. That's a lot.
100%, yeah.
10% raise on your paycheck, and you pay 10% less taxes. That'd be pretty good, right?
Yeah, pretty nice.
Then blood sugar levels and your posture. So I created a program. It's called Hbom Essentials. It's on my YouTube channel. It's free. It's about an hour long, and it gives you all the basic information on what a Homo sapiens sapiens, what a human being needs as far as breathing, water, hydration, posture, blood sugar levels.
Some basics.
Really
this
basic.
is the soil. This is the soil we're planting ourselves in.
Soil. So what kind of soil are you going to use, right? And then there's a thing called a little download I have on Overwhelm, which talks about how 45 minutes to an hour before you go to sleep every night, and when you wake up every morning, your mind is rebooting itself. It's either turning itself on in the morning or turning itself off. And during that time, it has no filters. It has no critical filters, no protection from viruses. So one of the things that I learned from direct experience is that if I before I go to sleep, if I watch violent movies, if I get into an argument with someone in my family or significant other, I have just put all of that into my consciousness. Now it's just like I just stuffed myself with a big bag of junk food, and now I'm going to have to digest it all night long.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you go to bed at 10 o'clock every night, at 9 o'clock, there's like, okay, the perimeter, on. No negativity, no fights, no arguments. They can wait till tomorrow.
Right.
No need. Why are you watching the news before you go to bed?
Terrible idea.
Actually going hypnotically entering your unconscious.
Right.
And it's so you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is you drink a coffee and some sugary snack, and then you grab the newspaper, you turn on, you get into an argument, start thinking about money, you got to pay your taxes, you're in an argument with your spouse. Stop. Give yourself 5 minutes to an hour of, now you've eaten breakfast, your blood sugar, you're awake, you're clear. Okay, show me the news. What's going on?
Right.
If I need to get into an argument with my spouse, it's like, hold on, let me eat first. Let me get myself in that, guys. I'm going to kick your butt. You're not ready yet. You can't argue with me right now. You haven't eaten yet. Drink a glass of water, eat some food, and then kick my butt.
It's like, let's get ready here. Come on. You're going to get a good butt kicking.
Gamify it, turn it into, okay, we got something, because life is full of all sorts of challenges. Sometimes some of them, there's some messes to clean up. How are you going to do that? Now, the outside world is a mess. Would you open up your windows and your screens when there's mosquitoes? No, that's not when you open up the window. You wait till the air is clear. There's smoke coming in. Right. So with your mind, you do that. So I've got a program. It's called Hbom Essentials. It's for free. It's on my YouTube channel. I just loaded it last week for the first time. So you'll be like the first people to use it if you like it. And it shows you that. And that's the first one. And that's the body. And then the second program is called Stop and Reboot Your Mind. Hbom Stop and Reboot Your Mind. And it's got about an hour of theory for people who are interested in how it works and why it works. And then there's 3 breathing exercises. One's a gentle, one's a medium, and one's like the emergency one. Okay. They're really like jump in. How to stop and reboot your mind. And create the conditions, follow the instructions, create the conditions, and give yourself the experience of stopping your mind. Using your breath to stop your mind. You can stop it in as little as 5 minutes. And it'll stay stopped for 10 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. But in that time period, you just watch it, you realize that you're not your mind. It's not
That's
who you
a
are.
major realization. Yeah.
You are not. And your mind is going to be happy or sad, yes. Excited or depressed, yes. Sure, it's the full dynamic range. Everything that you can feel, every sensation, every sentiment, everything you can have is going through your mind and you're processing it. So sometimes it's going to be confused, sometimes it's going to be clear. Yes, but that's not who you are. And if you're taking care of the body, if you're breathing and hydrating and eating properly and sleeping properly, well, okay, I'm feeling confused now. What should I do? What does that mean? Well, confusion by definition means you can't be understood. So what if you could just take a breath and just sit and let the confusion pass by? Just like you're driving and you go and enter a foggy area.
Mm-hmm.
Slow down. Maybe you pull over and let the cloud go by. Right?
Yeah.
And then you can keep, so you begin to look at and you realize we have all these dynamic states. We have a full dynamic range of experiences we can have. Why not start mapping them out? Why not learn how to become aware of them and realize, okay, I'm going through anger right now. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to spew it out on everybody else. No. I've got this anger thing coming up. I'm going to drink some water. I'm going to take a power bar so that I can do it well, right? And I'm going to go in my office. I'm going to close my door. I'm going to go for a walk, and I'm just going to let it out. And it comes out 5 minutes later. What if that's all it took? It was just a little squall.
Right. Like a little squall, a storm blowing through.
A little storm blowing through, and do you have to it's just a storm, batten the hatches.
Mm-hmm.
And let it pass.
Yeah.
Just like you're going to have an outburst of happiness and joy. Enjoy it. It's going to pass. Don't worry about it. So what if you can create the conditions so that you have more rainbows and less lightning strikes? Those are the
what
conditions.
we want. Yeah.
That's a choice. It's a choice that you can consciously make, or you can unconsciously let others make for you.
Right.
So then this really thing happens. Just you clear yourself, you're feeling good, you're feeling in your body, you go out there and suddenly you start to feel really angry or really scared or really depressed. And it turns out that we humans have mirror neurons. And our mirror neurons are how we communicate and how we feel, how we empathize others of our herd, because we're herd animals. Mm-hmm. So if I know my angers and my fears and my insecurities and my negativities and my confusions, and why? Because I just took the time, instead of just watching some silly thing on TV, I decided to watch whatever silly thing is happening inside here and map it out. What's the drama? What's the telenovela that's happening in here? Okay, what story? What are the characters and what's going on in here? What's all the drama? And just map it out. And then I know it. So I'm calm, I'm clear. Now I'm in the presence of other people that are freaked out. I can just take a breath and I can just check in with myself and I can realize that, oh, this is coming from me. I need to take care of it. Or, oh, this is not coming from me. Well, that's interesting. Somebody else, is having a negative experience. Somebody else, passed gas and it smells bad. All I got to do is move out of the way. I'm not going to die. Oh my. But are you going to die from it?
Right.
No. Just let it pass. You're like, okay. And then now you either move away from the person, or you now know that you can approach them. If you feel like you need to, you can approach them. Mm-hmm. But you're aware that they're unstable, they're having a squall, and you're not. And right. You know that maybe all they need is a glass of water or a glass of juice. Hey, would you like some orange juice?
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then they get a little salt and this and that, and you hand them a snack, and then suddenly they're like, whoa, it's not so strong anymore. Okay, mm-hmm. You want to talk? You want to fight it out? Put on the gloves, right? We can have an argument about it. But so that's how, but by knowing yourself, your mirror neurons will allow you to feel what other people are in. Mm-hmm. Really powerful. It's like a superpower. But everybody has it. Every bird has it. You approach one bird, and it flies off, the whole flock goes.
Right.
Every herd animal.
And they all turn in the same way too.
same way. But isn't it curious that, so let's say that I'm a little bit unhappy, a little this, that, a little, I've got some anger, some unhappiness, some confusion, some anxiety. I'm worried about everything that's going on in the world and money and ABC, XYZ. And then I approach you and you're kind of freaked out and stressed out. And then I trigger you and you trigger me. And then before you know it, we're not speaking to each other for weeks. We're in a horrible fight. And if I had diffused myself, it takes two to tango, right? It takes two to fight. So what if I was like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit upset. When's the last time I drank water? Oh, it's been like an hour, 2 hours. Glass of water. Oh, I feel a little better. That's good. Oh, I'm a little hungry. When are you more than 15 minutes away from a source of food?
Never these days.
A pack of nuts, a piece of cheese, a yogurt, a little snack. Here in Thailand, it's like a little chicken satay, or it's a little vegetable thing, or there's mini marts and like the convenience stores everywhere, your refrigerator, your backpack.
Right. There's something, there's always something.
There's always something. Yeah. If I'm at work and and if I'm busy and I get a call saying, hey, there's been an emergency, or you're gonna have a meeting with a lawyer, or someone in your family's hurt, you need to go to the hospital. The first thing I do is grab a bottle of water and drink it. Grab a pack of mixed nuts or almonds, grab a baby bell cheese, or an apple, and eat it first. I'm on my way to the hospital, stop at the mini mart, grab some nuts, a yogurt, water, right? The chewing gum, brush my teeth, right? Right. On the way, I'm eating. Now I'm arriving. My blood sugars are stable.
Right.
For the next 90 minutes to 2 hours. And I've got fuel. I can function. I'm balanced. I'm stable. It's that much easier.
Yeah.
90% of issues and traumas disappear. Like I'm taking care of 90% of the drag, the tax on physical body. And this mind is inside this body.
Right.
It's a mind, body, mind. They're not separate. So if I'm hungry, I haven't slept well, I need a power nap. I need a foot massage. I need this, right? Major life decision. I'm gonna need some food.
Right.
Water. Or coffee. I'm gonna drink some water. And can I get a foot massage? Can I stretch? Can I just take a power nap? Okay, give it to me. What's going on? We're at war. Okay, we're at war, but now I'm ready.
Right. Wow. Yeah, I have never really thought about that, but yeah, that would make everything easier if you're starting from that a better base point. Sure.
Let's say you have to confront someone in your family that is always angry or something like that, right? You made a video about it. Well, what if you prepared yourself so that you were at peak performance? You were balanced at peak performance, completely relaxed and ready to go in there, and which means maybe they take a swing at you and it doesn't hurt that much. It's not really that big of a deal, and you realize that they're out of balance, and you care about it. So then you show up with a snack.
Like, want some nuts?
Right, a little raw nut ball, something yummy. Hey, it's like.
That's a great idea. I think that's gonna be the next thing I try.
Sure. And then it takes 15 minutes later, your body starts absorbing the nutrients. Like a glass of water, it's seconds. A handful of protein-rich snacks, that stabilizes your blood sugar. That's 10, 15 minutes. Within 30 minutes, it's so fast. Right? So being able to do things like that makes such a difference. So the programs that I have are there. And then I've got a program called Awaken Thyself. ATS, Awaken Thyself. And I go through everything you need to be able to create the conditions to awaken your intuition, awaken your creativity, physically, emotionally, right? Mentally, how to take care of yourself. And then I put in all these little extra videos on how to just deal with things. And I talk to people from all around the world. So I've got this couple, these backpackers from Europe, they're in their 20s, and I give them information. Then I've got this entrepreneur who flies in from Singapore, and I give him information in a slightly different way. Then I got a family that shows up and I give them information. And they're just very informal videos, just on my laptop, just sitting and just having conversations, downloads like we're having now, about little things that we don't pay attention to because we are very complex. So the manual you need to create for yourself is not like this quick little, it's not like a little quick start manual on how there's a certain amount of information you need to figure out about yourself. You need to make a priority for yourself is figuring yourself out.
So you're creating your personal human being owner's manual.
Yeah, this is what I've created is I call it, it's like a meta manual. It's just sort of like the instructions on how to know yourself. I can't tell you what to do to be happy or healthy, but I can tell you how to figure out what you need to be healthy or happy. That I can share with you. Anyone who tells you what to do, they're confused.
Yeah.
All of them will be confused. But if they share with you how they figured it out in a way that allows you to figure it out, that's more interesting. So what do you need to figure out yourself so that you can function in a better way? So you can increase the performance of your life. It's your choice. And you have freedom to just not do anything and just let it happen all by itself. But then, well, then that's what's going on.
Right.
It's really your choice. You can choose to have a better life. You just have to figure out, how do I do this? It has to become a very important question for you. If you want to have a better life, it's up to you, isn't it? It's like we humans have, again, a dog can't choose to be anything else. A dog is a dog. A rose is a rose. But we humans have the freedom. Existence, evolution, God has given us the freedom to choose our way. And then we either have paradise or we turn it into a hell for ourselves.
Right. And you do have to choose, and it has to be a conscious decision, and you have to do stuff. You have to take action on it. That's something I think people don't really get either. It's like they just go about their lives and think, oh yeah, I want my life to be better, but they don't really realize they have to make conscious decisions and take actions based on those decisions.
That's right. And then the part where we get confused, the reason we get lost is that when we're children, we're unconscious and unaware of our consciousness. We're not aware that we're aware.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the baby wakes up and it's hungry and it cries, right? And then it laughs, and then it has a tantrum. It's not aware that it's doing that. Just like cats aren't aware of what they're doing. They're just being cats. Dogs don't know what they're doing. Dogs. And children don't really know what they're doing. They're just being children. But they're like little clean sponges, and they're imprinting all the behaviors of all the grown-ups around them. So I want to be just like my mom, I want to be just like my uncle, or just like my auntie, because they do one thing that's amazing. But they're out of shape, they're unhealthy, they're in, toxic relationships, and you imprint that too unknowingly.
Yeah.
So by the time you're 3 years old, you've imprinted 75% of all of your behaviors for life unconsciously. Because they're pre-verbal, you don't have the language or the cognitive skills to say, here I am, I think, therefore, I have whatever life based on whatever program is in my mind. You don't do that when you're 3. You're just like mine. Then right, 5 years old, it's the time that you recognize that. I remember being 5-year-old, I'm like, oh, I'm a boy. Well, that's a girl. Oh, I'm different. That's when you sort of identified your gender. Around the age of 3 to 5, you're like, oh, I'm going in this direction, I'm going in that direction. By that time, you've imprinted 80-90% of all of your behaviors. So how you're going to relate to people, and you're following instructions that you imprinted with the capacity of a 5.
This
This is my G.I. Joe. This is, I want to be an astronaut, right? Great, that's beautiful.
Fantastic.
Right? That's intelligent as you may be, you still have the limitations because you're not fully developed yet.
Right.
Then by the time we're 7 or 8 years old, we should have already figured ourselves out. Because in the first 7 years, it's about forming yourself as an individual. In the next 7 years, it's about learning how to relate to others.
Okay.
So we imprint how to know ourselves as individuals in the first 7, 8 years of our lives, and then how to relate to others by the time we're 12 or 14 and puberty hits. If we're born in a healthy society where the adults are all clear about themselves, that they know themselves, mommy and daddy and all the aunties and uncles and all the neighbors and the teachers and the head of the village, everybody's clear. I know who I am. I know how I function. And of course I want to have the best life. And no, I've never tried to poke my eyes out because it doesn't help. Physically, emotionally, psychologically, sexually, financially, I'm not sabotaging myself in any way. Right. So
that'd be
a
an
child
ideal world.
Right, an ideal world, but every child is born ready to be in an ideal world. No child is born ready to be in a messed up, crazy world that's been at war. Like, we've had 5,000 wars in the last 3,000 years. What we've done in the last 100 years has tipped our environmental balance, has changed our ecosystem. Like our population has exploded in the last 100 years from less than 1 billion people to at least 7 or 8 billion people.
Right, 8 at this point, right?
Grown in such a way, and we're imprinting how to be individuals in an unhealthy manner and how to relate to others by people who are doing it for the most part. Most people around you aren't as healthy as they could be. Aren't as
Right,
balanced.
that's certainly true. That's certainly true.
Really having fun. Most people are kind of, what the heck is going on? And things are getting worse. Being mandated to do this and do that, and my freedoms and what's right and what's wrong, and I can't trust anybody, and what should I be doing? And now we're all born into a world that's progressively getting worse. Isn't it time that at least some of us figure out, all right, the world's a bit crazy. I'm going to figure out what I need to be healthy and happy.
Yeah.
I'm going to share that with whoever wants to hear it. And if enough of us do that, then I think there's going to be a tipping point. There's going to be enough of us, a critical number of people that are going to have something figured out about how to have a happier, healthier life. Right? So then our children and the youngsters and the other people that are influenced us will be able to do this. So the thing to consider is that what if 99% of all of your ideas, values, and beliefs you imprinted unconsciously without doubting them? Because if you looked at your mom and your dad and you said, no, that's wrong, that's just nonsense, I don't believe in that preacher, that teacher, you get slapped across the room, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I don't want to do that because you guys are a bunch of idiots. You don't know what you're doing. You're following ideas instead of realities. That's the definition of an idiot.
You mean a teenager?
So suddenly you're a teenager and you're looking around and puberty is when the intelligence at the other end of your spinal column, because it's a whole brain stem. And now your entire body is ready to become an adult. And now you're finally capable of making choices, aware choices for the first time when you reach puberty, not before. Mm-hmm. It's the first time that you can know the difference between right and wrong. But all the values that you've learned, you've imprinted them unconsciously. Mm-hmm. So if you don't revisit them and go, I learned this from my mom, from my grandpa, they were great, but this has nothing to do with me. This app, I don't need this old app anymore.
Right, that old app, right.
I'm not doing this. I'm creating my own values. I'm choosing my values based on my direct life experience, because this works and this makes me and others feel good. So I'm going to value that. And I do this, I feel like crap, and I do that, and they feel like crap. And why would I do that?
Right.
So you can choose. For that, you need to be able to, of course, enter your mind. To enter your mind, you need a healthy body and stable emotions. Mm-hmm. Those are the requirements. To then be able to take a breath and sit down and allow yourself to go in and relive some experience in your past and decide whether you're going to follow those values or you're going to upgrade your values. If you're going to follow that programming and those ideas, or you're going to upgrade them. And in the world of today, where you have access to so many books and online courses, we've entered the information age. And you can find courses and programs for everything. So learning hypnotherapy allows you to dehypnotize yourself, because mind is hypnosis. Right. Learning NLP, linguistic programming, allows you to deprogramming yourself, because for the past 70, 80 years, vested interests have been using hypnotherapy and neurolinguistic programming to control the minds of the general public so that they will, maintain the status quo. Mm-hmm. And we need society, we need government, we need systems in place for communications and transportation, and education and finance. We need all of that. But what if we could bring a little bit of awareness and do it in a way that, let's have all of that in a body that feels good, with emotions that are full dynamic range, and that's sharp and clear. They can go out there, find the challenges of today, the problems, and transform them into something of value that helps us all. And that can be monetized, and you can make money.
Yeah, make money helping people. That's crazy. That's awesome.
People, right? Like, that's something anybody can do. I'm doing it successfully with my family. Mm-hmm. Which is why the only thing that will make my life better is if more people were doing it successfully for themselves. But for that, you kind of have to, you have to be shipshape. You have to get yourself ready to go out there and have an adventure, the unknowable adventure of life. There's a journey out there, and you can just follow along what everybody else is doing. the way it's being done, or you can choose to, I want to do things a little better.
Yeah.
And when I do things better, then the shift happens.
Mhm.
Because there's no such thing as society. It's not an existential thing. There's individuals that form a society. You can get a box with a dozen eggs in it, but there's no such thing as a dozen. Can I have no, just give me a dozen. Put it in a box. So what? Right?
Right.
You have a dozen eggs or a dozen books or a
Mhm.
dozen kisses, slaps, but you cannot. There's no such thing. So society is composed of individuals.
Right. Right.
Individuals are functioning in unhealthy bodies with unstable emotions and minds that kind of malfunction. Sometimes they malfunction, and you notice it. Then that's society. That's humanity. What does it take? Well, it takes individuals stepping up and just taking care of their bodies, their emotions, clearing their mind, and just getting rid of the junk files and junk apps, and just taking care of yourself. And then you can make your life better. And that's a good start. Put on your mask first, your air mask, before helping somebody else.
Right. Like,
turn on, learn how to navigate. Open your eyes and learn how to navigate through life.
Yeah. And we can do that with your videos.
Yes, the videos have all the information for anyone to figure it out for themselves. And then and anyone else who's interested is in sharing how to use these videos. How to start, how to get this done. So I would say the first thing is learn the essentials. It takes an hour. Learn how to stop and reboot your mind. It takes about an hour and a half.
Mhm.
Just to be in a room for like 20 minutes in a quiet space where you can do some breathing exercises, just laying down, relax, shut your mind off, and just experience being present from a state of no mind. Anyone can do it. Everyone can do it. And then just go through whatever videos are interesting to you. And then what we can do in a follow-up is we can go and you go through one of the videos, then we can go through and I can answer questions and show you how to apply it directly.
That would be great.
That's going to be online, available for free for anyone who wants it, just to figure themselves out.
That's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. Oh, I could go on for another 2 hours with you in this conversation, honestly. But we are at an hour and 20 minutes at this point, and it's getting late over here. So I'm gonna have to say goodbye. But let's put all your information in the contact in the comment section, and then we will just let people know when our series of videos comes out.
Sure, it'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be really fun.
Great. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Rafael. I can't wait to talk to you again.
My pleasure.
Good night.
Thanks to all.